Hey, welcome to this channel. We have a lot of exciting topics that we discuss on this channel. Borderline topics. Like in this case, I would like to discuss the morality of machines. The machines are not yet moral. There's no morality yet. We are at a very early stage of machine learning or artificial intelligence. We have not achieved artificial general intelligence yet. But it is something that we can just discuss ahead of time. As you know, artificial general intelligence is a measure of a machine's ability to learn and perform any intellectual task that a human being can perform. But then sentience, which is a human thing, is more subjective. It's a qualitative experience. It's like feeling emotions, feeling bored, feeling happy, emotions, feelings, that kind of thing. And also within those feelings and emotions is morality. So then that's where the complication is. To what extent can a machine be human, or can a machine have morality? We are still so far from that day yet. But I would like just to discuss and say that at the moment we are having dedicated machines that can perform human capabilities, like sweeping the floor or counting papers or counting money. Those are dedicated tasks that a human being can perform. And when you see a machine performing it, it's easy to say it's a human-like, but it's not really human-like. It's a dedicated task, and that the machine has been trained for, and is concentrated upon that task, and is not even aware of what that task means, or what that task, how it affects the big picture, the global picture, semantics of that task. It is just performing that task. So we're still at an early stage with machines when we are training them. They are really just dedicated automatons, let me put it that way, like running on a treadmill, performing a repetitive task without awareness or need to know what is that task performing or contributing to the big picture. So yeah, so I would say for myself, as an opinion, my personal opinion is that we will achieve artificial general intelligence when a machine can perform a single task seamlessly, and then be able to switch to another task and perform that next task seamlessly. You know, when a large language model responds to you, just like the Turing test, you cannot really differentiate whether you are talking to a person or a machine. So it passes the Turing test, so to speak. But is that, can we call that human-like behavior? No. Why? Because the machine is basically predicting the next word, the next word, the next word. What you see back is a line of text. It is even being converted to voice, and therefore you are getting that human-like response. But really, as far as the machine is concerned, it doesn't have any context of the global picture or the meaning of those words in a human sense. It's really just following the mathematical construct, and therefore we cannot say that large language models are more than just conversational entities, so to speak. We have to connect a lot of tools and enrich the prompts and all kinds of things to make sure that um, machine can seem human-like. I mean, at the moment, of course, as time goes, all these things are going to be very much enhanced, such that in 10 years' time, it will all be together and almost seamless. And I think that's when we get back to my first argument of say, even if those machines get to a point where they are seamless in performing task after task without any sort of like restructuring, reprogramming, task after task, different task, then it will become artificial general intelligence. But then I'm saying, as a developer, as a software professional, that I think there will still be that higher level of then the morality level that will need to be. I don't even know at this point whether it will be actually a programming challenge, or it will be another kind of challenge. I don't know, but there will need to be that sentience layer, that morality layer will still be there. So I think these days, I think there is a danger that in what we are doing now, there seems to be too much of a preoccupation with deploying these machines into all kinds of places. Without the morality, I think that's where I would agree with people like Elon Musk to say there needs to be a governmental regulation of what we do with these machines, because there is going to be a lot of accidents that are going to happen because these things are not aware of the impact or the consequences of some of the acts that they perform, and therefore there will be a lot of accidents, so to speak. And once these humanoids that we are building are able to switch from task to task and to be able to apply the different corresponding logics and perceptions and assumptions and whatever mandatory stipulations apply to each different task. It is driving a car, and then it stops driving a car, it stands up and starts operating a machine, and operates the machine within the framework of what the machine does correctly, and stops operating the machine, and then goes out and starts mowing the lawn and applies all the, that will be artificial general intelligence, no matter how mundane those tasks may be. Of course, there will be a higher artificial general intelligence if those tasks are complex. Like in one case, it's driving a spaceship, another case is operating a nuclear fusion reactor, that kind of thing. But that ability to switch from task to task without seamlessly is what for me defines artificial general intelligence. However, it is still intelligence. You are not yet operating at a point where you can say it's human like, because human like is a sentience level that is higher than machines. So therefore I think that is the next sort of concern that we have as machine learning professionals that are building these machines, to say, is there a morality? At what point, what kind of, what level of morality will these machines that we're building have? For instance, if a machine is looking at a child who is being attacked to some degree by a slightly older child, will it differentiate the morality and be able to mediate between the two? Will it even mediate? Will it even intervene? Will it even, that's the morality, which then becomes the humanity or inhumanity of machines. And at this point, and at this point in the cycle, is a 2026, there is no morality yet applicable to machines. So therefore that will be I think a level that will come after artificial general intelligence, where you will then apply a morality on top of the AGI, and then you'll be able to even sort of like classify those machines to say those that have level 1 kind of morality, level 2, level 3 can then be trusted to perform certain tasks, like maybe working in caregiving homes, like the home for the elderly, or mental institutions where you are or hospitals where you are taking care of patients. It needs a morality now that will need to be applied on top of the AGI. So you see, these are the topics that you'll be discussing on this channel, depending on at what level we're operating. Because remember, at the lowest level, we just do machine vision, where a machine is able to recognize a picture, not only a picture, but a moving scene, to say these two people, who the way they are interacting is a fight. These people, it's a romantic scene. These people, so it's all kinds of and levels of recognition that will be at that first level. Then the next level is where you are operating different types of or interacting in very complicated scenarios, such as driving a vehicle, operating a complicated high-spec machine, operating what we can call maybe even driving a spaceship or an aeroplane. That's a higher specification level. But a dedicated machine can do that and be dedicated to that only, and it still not be AGI. But the minute it can, on one end, do this and then switch and do this and then switch another thing from one complicated task to another complicated task to another complicated task seamlessly without any sort of like pause or need for regeneration or reprogramming, then we have artificial general intelligence, which is what is like the holy grail that we are all looking for at one point. But as I said, even if we achieve artificial general intelligence, there is then the morality issue that will come, and that level of morality is the one that's going to affect the humanity or the inhumanity of machines, and to what level or extent we can trust them to interact with human beings. Obviously, there's been already a debate. I think the Pope has already started talking about, let's take away all powers from AI. But I can see a situation where certain governments, because they are competing with each other, they will force the equation anyway. They will give AI certain powers, especially martial powers, like for war, in warlike situations, without actually bothering to also handle the morality element, because the morality element, I think, is higher and is going to be more difficult for us as machine learning engineers to achieve. But the initial sort of stages of just getting a machine to do a dedicated task is, I think we've passed that point, and those dedicated tasks are becoming more and more complex, and I think we are now playing in that area, and where some people are even starting to even try to imply as if large language models are actually thinking. That's not the case, as I'm arguing in this video. So guys, let me know what you think of this interesting topic, as to what level of what is artificial general intelligence in your view, and also morality. Is it a separate higher level of intelligence that will have to program separately and handle separately? And maybe even after you get AGI and then you get morality on top of that, still we do not have a human being. At what point can we then one day be able to say that there's a machine can actually become completely sentient like a human being? I think that is the sort of like the unknown factor, because can a machine ever be a human being? You can have a dumb blonde sitting by the corner, and then you have a very complicated machine. I think for one to become the other is still going to be a long road for that to be achieved. Thank you very much. This is just to whet your appetite, to say these are the topics that we're going to be discussing. Thank you.